is electric seat adjusters here. The front button goes backwards and forwards.
Yep.
The button behind that, logically, is the rake of the seat.
Yep.
I'll leave you getting as comfortable as you can in the car. Seatbelt on as well. Don't drive off without me.
I'll try not to.
So as I say, front button backwards and forwards, rear button rake.
Yep.
There is a steering wheel adjustment as well if you want that. I'll sort that out when we get to the other side.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lever just on the right here.
Yeah,
with
just a tad lower.
So if you pull it and it pulls in and out as well.
In and out's fine, I think.
Yep. So and then put that back up.
Yep.
Feel good? It's always a good idea, Gary, when you first get into any car, especially when you're going out on track. I mean, it applies to any car, to be honest, no matter where you are, to get as comfortable as you possibly can in the car.
Yep.
Right, your left foot's basically redundant in this, so leave that on the rest. If you put your right foot on the brake, click the lever one click towards you here. So in that direction there, a 1 appears on the screen.
Yep.
The car's in first gear. To change gear, it's a semi-automatic gearbox. That's second already. To go back down the gearbox, it's that. You don't need to lift the throttle as well. That's done automatically. Handbrake off. Gently down with the throttle, and we're on our way. Well done. So very importantly, Gary, when you first pull out onto the track, stay within the confines of these white lines that lead you out.
Yep.
And just on the outlet, hug it through nice and tightly through the first bend. As you exit the pit lane, it's never a bad idea, just have a little glance in your mirror just to see if there's anything on the circuit as well. And so the second gear, one click backwards, it's already done. So Paddock Hill Bend. One of the most famous bends in motor racing.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Right, correct track position. You see where it says Palmer Sport on the bridge?
Yes.
Right under the Palmer Sport path of the bridge is absolutely perfect. You'll be on the brakes just before the bridge, down to third gear. You're already in third in this, so it's absolutely fine. Turn on the yellow, apex on the red. It's quite a long way around, it's a late apex. Then after the apex, just let the car naturally run wide. Nice big lazy S, hold third gear, perfect. Into the yellow turning in point at Granville Bend. Turn on the yellow, apex on the red, let it run wide. You can hook up the fourth gear on the way down the straight. You don't really need to brake for this corner, by all means do if you feel you want to, but it's not really that necessary. Turn on the yellow, apex on the red, straight line through towards that green cone. Gently on the brakes, down to third gear, turn on the yellow, and there's your apex point there. Anywhere between these two red cones is fine at the moment. And it's a nice big constant radius arc. You need to let the car run a bit wider through here. Fourth gear. There's a second apex by post 24. That will take you down the inside of the pit straight. As you get into the dip here, you see the one board. Yep. Aim for the one board, so you're going back across the track. Now aim back in a straight line, brake all the way in. You need to brake. There's your apex there. So you could have braked a little bit harder, yeah? Let the car run wide, and then that will take you spot on the racing line, right under the Palmer Sport sign on the bridge. On the brakes, down to third. It's all about being silky smooth, Gary.
Yep, yep.
Once you've apex, just unwind the lock now, let the car run wider. That's it. Good. A nice big lazy S all the way in. Spot on, well done. On the brakes, you need to brake. If you don't, what happens is, if you don't get used to braking, braking allows physics to work in your favour. It pushes the front of the car into the ground, so when you turn in, you've got dynamic weight over the front wheels. Should have been fourth gear really, but you're okay. Stay in third for now. Straight line out towards the green. On the brakes towards the yellow, turn on the yellow, hook up with the apex on the red. Now, I'm not going to grab the window feature, but the arc, you see, that's more the line. You feel that?
Yes.
That's it, that big arc. There's another apex by post 24. Take fourth gear. Down the inside. As you get into the dip, then aim across for the one board. We've got a Peugeot coming up. Now back on, you're going to get over. That's it, well up. There's your apex point. normally drive, Gary?
2 litre Mondeo.
Oh, but they're great cars.
Great cars, front wheel drive. It's about 27 years since I've driven a rear wheel drive car. It responds very differently.
It does. I mean, you've got 400 horsepower, just over 400 horsepower going through the rear wheels on this car. The whole car only weighs just over 1,600 kilos. But the balance of the car is good. The chassis is absolutely fantastic, and that you know, it's gone are the days when a rear-wheel drive powerful car will split you off.
Yeah, I'm very aware of that.
Yeah.
I know what to do in a front-wheel drive car when you start to lose it.
Yeah. That's it. The secret here is squeeze on the throttle, but take fourth gear now. Let the car settle. Let the horsepower do the talking. And in a perfect world, we need to be trying to overtake the car in front. So let's run to the left of the car in front. Accelerate hard, leg line, and then roll out the throttle. When you're in the single seaters garage, well, it's all about anticipating what the car in front's going to do as well, yes? If in doubt, always err on the side of caution, only overtake on the left-hand side. I just need to work out what's going on. So under the Palmer Sport sign, hold third gear. Unwind the lock. You okay? So we know he's slow on the exit of the corners, gently back on the gas and overtake on the left hand side. Try to avoid a down change for there. It's not so necessary, it doesn't really matter, but in the single seater you might run the risk of just locking up the rears if you flick it down there. Turn on the yellow, apex on the red. Take fourth gear now, about now. That's it. Don't get too heavily on the power. That's it. That nice big constant radius arc. Squeeze on the throttle. Brake all the way to the turning in point. This should be fourth gear. Yeah. Again, I don't want you to be having a down change on the turn in for Paddock Hill Bend. So 4-speed gearbox on the single seater, very torquey engine. Run fourth gear. Third gear through here. Try if you can, Gary, as well, and keep 2 hands on the wheel whenever you can. Preferably at that sort of 2/4 to 3 position.
Yes.
Yeah. You're a racing driver now. Turn on the yellow, apex on the red. Gently squeeze on the throttle. Unwind the lock. Good. Fourth gear. Fourth gear through Surtees. It'll be top gear in the single seater. Turn on the yellow. Apex on the red. So what do you do work-wise, Gary?
I'm an engineer. I repair forklift trucks.
Oh, really?
So it's 27 years since I've actually driven a track. A lot different.
No, it's all about being silky smooth, Mechanical sympathy is what it's all about too, isn't it? Squeeze on the throttle, and we can overtake the car in front, providing we've got space. Yep. Brake all the way in, you've got to brake all the way in now. Yeah, all the way in. Turn on the yellow, apex on the red. Unwind the lock. That slight rumble on the brakes, being an engineer, it's nothing. There's nothing at all wrong with the brakes. They use an M pad.
Yes.
Slightly more aggressive pad. It's a normal road pad, but sort of erring more on the sporty side. So it gives you a slightly more sort of aggressive feel. So it gives the brakes a bit of a rumble. And we can go by number 10 on the left. Nothing quite like a V8, is it?
It's very, very nice.
Now just roll out the throttle, wait for the bend, turn it in. Gently back on the throttle and it'll go. Good. On the brakes, down to third. Don't get too heavy on the power, unwind the lock now. That nice big constant radius arc all the way through here. And then down the inside of the pit straight going. Up to fourth gear. Oh, you got it already? Well done. From here, brake all the way in. You don't have to wait for the brake boards, but when you feel me braking, brake firmly. Now physically look at the red go. Unwind the lock, don't get too heavily on the gas, yeah? Good. And the brakes down to third. Think silky smooth, Gary. Doing well, that's good, that's what it's all about. That's enough. Take the lock off, don't get on the power too heavily. So the bottom line is, we are probably the quickest car out there. Nice crisp turning, hook up with the apex, unwind the lock a little bit as you exit. Well done. Slow in and fast out, that's the secret here for the turning after McLaren and into clear ones. Hook up the fourth gear now, and keep accelerating gently. Good. Good. I'm happy for you to hook up the fifth gear if you want to. Spot on. So look, we lapped everybody, we overtook everybody, we were catching the one in front, can't do better than that. Well done, happy with that?
Very different way of driving.
Silky smooth is what it's all about, anticipate what's in front of you all the time. As you exit the corners, squeeze on the throttle. If you can imagine, for every millimetre of throttle you apply, take a degree of lock off and use all the track on the exit. Like now, for example, take the lock off, don't get on the power too heavily. That's good. You've got a good feel for the car, you've got a lot of mechanical sympathy. Absolutely fine. So we're going to be coming back into the pits this time, Gary. Once you've gone through Surtees here, the most efficient way back into the pits is to hug the track now on the inside all the way through. If you need, for whatever reason, to car back into the pits before the session is finished in the single seater, if you've got a problem out there, it's very unlikely, but just in case, a little wave of your hand as you're coming into the pits, it just lets other cars know what you're doing. So you will now go and have a single seater briefing. A couple of things really to bear in mind with the single seaters is, the rear of the car is just a little bit wider than the front.
Yes.
So don't try and squeeze it through a gap at the front that the rear might not go through. Don't be expecting brake lights from the single seaters. They haven't got brake lights on them, so again, don't be coming up behind cars. And you know where the line is. Don't be suckered offline by a car in front that maybe is not on the right line. Always err on the side of caution. If in doubt, just back it off a little bit.
Yes.
And it's always a good thing to assume. Just assume that the guy in front hasn't seen you.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you know that he has, when he's moved over to let you by, go by and have some fun.
Yes.
I'm really pleased with that. That was a good effort.
Good.
When you get into the single seater as well, don't forget to give them this before you strap in, and I'll get it all dialed in for you.